The Crimson Guard commanders in G.I. Joe are terrorist trust fund babies. Today they live in Williamsburg until Antifa broke the windows throughout the brand new Whole Foods on Bedford Avenue, which sent them packing before they snagged some salted dark chocolate from a local candy shop for the road, which also sells hard to find Fleet Fox's vinyl records in the back to prove hipster taste still matter. Can I get a holla for more mouthfuls of hilarity? Long time, all the time, holla. Thank you very much. I ordered a Chinese last night against my will, and I opened up a fortune cookie, and it said, a wise man, not named Fuckface Fauci, would rename the pandemic a failed coup because the Kraken is coming, and this Trump train was bound for glory. Holla! Thank you very much! So, why are self-proclaimed liberals so pleased with themselves today? Because your party supports open borders, which is pro-sex trafficking, which means you're pro-pedophilia? Because your party has to rely on voting machines made in Venezuela to steal millions of votes from still your President Trump to pretend real victory at all, like a fake news Johnny drama? Because your party cheers abortion on demand? Not that anyone cheering abortion on demand is hot enough to get knocked up in New York State either. Or is it because your fake news presidential-elect is a little girl hair sniffer, uses his crackhead son as a bagman for China, or because pre-corona, whenever Joe would leave the basement, he'd swim nude in his pool in Delaware with all the female Secret Service agents around claiming, told you I was bigger than Boogie Border Obama. Big O, my ass. Can I get a holla for more colossal dumpage on pedophile Joe? You're not becoming president of anything. Holla. Thank you very much. So I'm going to Arizona against my will to see my parents for Thanksgiving. I'm just doing it for my kids. Because when you have a conversation with your dad 2 seconds ago, and I'm talking about, I said, get some Hebrew National dogs, because I took your grandson, Archo, to Epstein's, to Jewish Deli, and he said, I like this hot dog better than your hot dog and Papa's combined. Of course, Papa got very defensive. He says, well, I wasn't working with my grill, and he's the one with his grill. So my son can mentally prepare himself for extra burnt marks, knowing they will be scorched under the Arizona sun. And my parents retired to Arizona almost a decade ago, and they still haven't been to the Grand Canyon. So by that definition, they are fake news hippies. Now my father's favorite pastime, two favorite pastimes in Arizona since he retired to Arizona, is pleasuring himself to the Weather Channel during the winter and playing tennis with Dr. Ken. And according to Dr. Ken, my dad's forehand has never been stronger. So I'm on the phone with my dad, and he's doing his best to act like he cares about me visiting when it's really just a safe face. And so, meaning he could actually tell his Yenta friends back east that he entertained his grandchildren in his Arizona state home once a year. And he's set. So I said, yeah, so we were at Epstein's, first Jewish deli experience. Wasn't going to tell him it's because I'm writing a book, Growing Up Kosher. But I said that we're actually celebrating an upcoming professional review of my book, The Great American Jew Novel, in the Midwest Weekly, which will be available later in December. And of course, that wasn't acknowledged. I wasn't expecting a ball tickle or anything, but I like to give him the benefit of the doubt. But for some words of wisdom, folks, okay? So, and I don't care if your parents help you out or not, or if they continue to do, or if they tell you to go fuck yourselves. But at some point, if you just sense that they don't care about what you're passionate about, or if they don't, if you get just the absolute feeling that they'll never respect your opinion or show any belief in your ultimate ability, if you ever got that chilling sense once, it was correct. And then to come out as a Trump supporter 4 years later only exacerbates that brutal fate acceptance inside. So I just got an annoying phone call from my wife. She says, so the school nurse called from school, and how did the school nurse know that Arthur was going to Arizona? And she said this because, I don't know, some kid got corona, I don't know. And I don't know the exact details. I don't even care about it. But all I know is that Arthur has to be like under quarantine and blah blah blah. Despite the like negative 0.2 infection mortality rate for like kids under fucking 80. And so my wife says, how did the school nurse know Arthur was going to Arizona? And I said, because she's listened to one more podcast of mine than you ever did. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. I haven't really addressed the coup, the midnight dumping of absentee votes, Night of the Living Dead voting for liver spot Biden. Ann Coulter writing President Trump off already because she's a used up, jilted twat who exudes 0.0 personality off the page. But again, like I told you, I don't want to make the podcast about this, but I read this like great quote I read before by Thomas Paine. It talks about men shrinking from their duty during times of crisis. Now, there's only so much a regular person could do. I mean, you could attend that rally in D.C. with your kids and have Antifa terrorize your children and get away with it. Or watch them give a nunchuck to the face of Blanche in the process and have there be no repercussion. Because that fat-ass piece of shit, useless Attorney General William Barr wouldn't know an indictment if it fucking fell in his lap, top of a pile of fucking yodels. So, glad I got that off my chest. But I do have a podcast and I do have a platform. And AOC, put me on your fucking list. I double dare you. I don't understand these people that say, like, I would bang the AOC. I wouldn't let that bitch near my cock in a million years. Are you kidding me? She would chop it off in two. With all the Adderall she's cranked up on. No freaking way. She's scared off Amazon, for Christ's sake. 27,000 jobs in the process. So, my wife is coming home right now, and she's going to be annoying. And last night, she's out with her friends, and I saw this TikTok video, and the TikTok video had this like Seinfeld theme, and there was like this caption saying, impending lockdown. And I'm thinking, why would you incorporate such a cheeky, ironic, detached soundtrack to such a depressing, avoidable reality? So I'm going to tell you the name of one woman that I want you to look up. And she was the attorney for General Flynn. And I really want to remember her name. But by the way, for people that have been kicked off Twitter, there is a new app called Parler, and like Sheriff Clark's on it, and a bunch of people that got kicked off Twitter for spreading hate speech, harmful tweets, and you can find some good information there. I don't know if I had mentioned this before, but for those just tuning in to the Do It All Dead Year podcast who haven't been longtime fans, I got banned from Twitter for spreading harmful tweets, like stating China has resisted charges of launching biological warfare more than Aquafresh. Sidney Powell, that's her name, Sidney Powell. She's chief of staff lawyer for Trump, and she does not fuck around. And she says that she has so much evidence of election fraud tampering that it's pouring out of a freaking fire hose. I'm jealous of that analogy, but I can't get jealous about it knowing what it's going to lead to, because if we can't deliver this evidence and we can't convince the Supreme Court otherwise, if we can't do a complete redo, or because Trump won by the million. So if we let hair sniffer Joe win, our republic is lost and we're fucked. And I have no idea what to tell my children. Really not prepared for that conversation. But I am excited. Something to look forward to is I am going to write a piece of flash fiction called Mr. Nobody in honor of Joe Biden. It's going to be conversations going to have with the voting machine. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So look forward to that. I might bang that out later today after I clean up my house, which is a hellhole because the machine for our dishes is still out of commission. And so there's this mythological creature. It's this octopus that used to destroy naval vessels, and they call it the Kraken. Okay, so again, just to rephrase a previous statement, I opened a fortune cookie last night, and it said, "A wise man not named Fuckface Fauci would rename the COVID pandemic a failed coup because the Kraken has been released and it's coming, and it's going to make Thanksgiving extra juicy." But on an end note, to not let Obama be met off the hook here, can you imagine Thanksgiving at his house this year? He says to his daughter Malaya, "You barely touch your tofurkey." Malaya says, "But Dad, how do I explain to my woke friends at school that you let me intern for Harvey Weinstein?" And Obama said, "Michelle was your chaperone on the set of Girls, and that fat Jew couldn't pin down Michelle if he tried."